Thanks Jeff for following, but damn it guys, I can't fix this shit. Test.
You have always wanted me to learn Arabic, but it's a huge challenge because the Foreign Service Institute ranks it as one of the top 4 most difficult languages to learn for English speakers. Plus, every single Arabic-speaking country has its own very different dialect of Arabic, so what do I learn? Fortunately, recently I met this Sudanese guy who grew up in Dubai, with whom I was able to spend 16 hours learning a colloquial form of Gulf Arabic with. And then I hit the streets of New York City's Arabic neighborhoods, which contain Arabic speakers from all over the Middle East. This video was the first time I've ever tried speaking Arabic with people in real life. But before we get into that, I just wanted to thank my sponsor Raycon for making it possible to do crazy things like this on my channel. Blah 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 blah, I've heard it all before, Shama, so don't want to bore you with any more of me telling you how great Raycons are. Actually, my whole family uses Raycon earbuds too. So I'm going to read you some actual quotes from my family about why they love Raycon earbuds. This is for real. Brother number 1, quote, "The battery life is freaking unbelievable. I don't know if I've ever charged mine." You actually, for legal reasons, I have to tell you that you do actually have to charge Raycon earbuds. But they get an amazing 24-hour battery life with the case nonetheless. Brother number 2, "They fit in my ears super well. They don't come out. Mom, the instructions are so easy. Even for someone who's never used earbuds before, they're easy to use. I love not having those things sticking out of my ear." I know, great, wireless earbuds, they're amazing. And the best part about Raycons is that they're half the price of other premium wireless earbuds. So just click the link in the description or go to buyraycon.com/ShalmaNYC to get
رمضان يسمونه هون رمضان كل يوم.
Have you been here before?
Never.
Oh my gosh, welcome.
Thank
you. Try their baklava. Just go.
Good.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
We would like some baklava, bit lobby.
Tell me something. تنجح كده؟
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah.
Oh, تتكلم عربي؟
شوية.
شوية. Oh,
How about you?
أنا كمان بس شوية.
Oh, nice. Where did you learn? In Masr?
مع صاحبي مع صاحبي سوداني.
Oh,
Yeah.
mashallah, nice.
أيوة.
Yeah, they're from Algeria.
Oh, Algeria.
Yeah.
Oh, أنا من أمريكا.
ما شاء الله.
أيوة ما شاء الله ما شاء الله.
تتكلم عربي good.
Oh, شكرا. بس شوية. إيشتا cream pie.
إيشتا. كم واحدة بدها؟
واحد.
واحدة.
Oh, you want one, Dave? Actually, اثنين. Yeah, one for you.
Right?
زين كتير 100.
Do you speak Arabic too?
Oh, me? No.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
I'm so confused on what's happening.
Nice to meet you.
All right, nice to meet you guys.
Good luck, guys.
Good luck.
Have a beautiful day.
All right, ma
salama.
salama. All right, bye. Tamam, maya. Oh, wow. Now it smells good.
Whoa. Okay.
Hello. Oh, just looking. Hi. All right, thank you. It smells so good in here. Yeah. Oh, these are really good. تتكلم عربي؟ ايوه. هذا مشهور في اليمن. اوكي انا اشتري هذا و أحب أشرب ماء عربية.
اهلا وسهلا.
Yeah.
كويس عم بفهم عليك كويس.
أيوة. لا لكن أنا أتكلم عربية بس شوية. شكرا.
عفوا مع السلامة.
مع السلامة.
شكرا.
Hi, hello. I'm good, just looking. I heard these were really good. Yeah, not good? Oh, okay. شو أسن أشرب?
I can't tell you.
No?
I don't drink those things. I don't know.
Okay.
What's your favorite?
I don't know. I'm just kind
Have a
of
fruit, you see?
curious. Yeah.
Everyone have a fruit. What's your
Right.
favorite fruit? You can take it.
Oh yeah. Okay. Anything else good? Like شو أسن أكل يمني.
I'm not Yemeni. I don't know.
You don't know? Oh.
You go to the restaurant.
مين وين أنت؟
Palestine.
Palestine. Oh, cool.
You go to the restaurant and you ask them.
Yeah. I'm practicing my Arabic today. I'm trying to.
Let's go.
Yeah.
You learn in Arabic?
Yeah. بس شوية. بس شوية. أيوة.
أنت من فين؟
مين أمريكا؟
American?
أنا. Yeah.
ما شاء الله.
ما شاء الله. في قهوة.
Yeah, I have it.
Right there.
The last one.
Okay. Yeah.
Some golden.
هذا زين. Okay.
زين يا زين.
زين. بس هذا.
بس هذا؟
أيوة. ما شاء الله.
8 ونص.
8. 3? No. 8. 8.
Aha.
There. Okay.
Bravo.
850. ونص. أيوة. Yep.
إن شاء الله.
ما شاء الله. السلام
السلام عليكم.
عليكم. وعليكم السلام.
Nice to meet you, brother.
Nice to meet you too.
السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام. Hi there. Do you have a menu?
Yes.
Let's take a look at this bread. Look at this bread. Oh. زين كتير.
I love watching this stuff. It opens up the world.
زين كتير. What's that? كمسير. Is that كمسير? كمسير.
How long you been practicing?
اثنين أسبوع.
أسبوعين.
أسبوعين. أيوة. Oh, والله على سيم. 2 أسبوع. Yeah. Right.
That's how you start. And then
You just gotta practice,
then you get
exactly.
looser. Then
Yeah.
You've been
Studying. No, never. Yeah, but أنا يريد أروح دبي.
Dubai?
وعمان كمان. Yeah. Hi. Just wanted to get something to go, but I've never really had this food before. I don't know what's good. Like شو أحسن أكل؟ عندك مندي؟ like مندي أيوة. كيف المندي؟ أصلي ولا مو أصلي؟ المندي. كيف؟
ممتاز جدا.
جدا.
ممتاز جدا جدا.
Oh, they judge? Oh. شكرا. Oh my goodness. Oh man. زين كتير. شكرا.
Some people will go to any lengths to make their gaming PC smaller, but only a select few of them have the engineering expertise to ensure that the system will still work. Fortunately, Intel is one of those few, and I'm really excited to take a look at their newest enthusiast NUC, Phantom Canyon, featuring an 11th gen Tiger Lake processor and discrete RTX 2060 graphics. Cause here's the thing, guys. Normally, a high-performance NUC like this comes at such a hefty price premium that most people would rather just have a full-size computer. Except, look at this. an RTX 2060 is gonna cost you as much as $600 today. Okay then, Nook. Let's see what you can do. Ridge Wallet is celebrating the 8th anniversary of their successful Kickstarter campaign and launch of ridgewallet.com. So get 15% off site-wide at ridgewallet.com/Linus. Intel has been selling NUCs, or Next Unit of Computing, since 2013, and this Tiger Lake variant is interesting to gamers for a couple of reasons. First and foremost is that you can actually buy the bloody thing. Now, as Jared's Tech pointed out in this excellent comparison, we'll have it linked below, an RTX 2060 mobile GPU isn't quite as performant as one of these. But it's also not that far off, meaning that we can expect a solid gaming experience at up to 1440p resolution, even in AAA games. Well, that's reason number 2. The first NUCs were small, but they came with a significant performance penalty. By contrast, our unit here is equipped with a 10nm Core i7-1165 G7. Now that's only a quad core, and it turbos to a mere 4.7 GHz, but architecturally, it's more advanced than Intel's 10th generation desktop processors, meaning that in moderately multi-threaded workloads, like games, it shouldn't be a performance bottleneck. To test this, we started with Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Now we know, most people aren't playing this game every day, but what we also know is that if a machine can deliver a smooth 1440p experience in Shadow, it'll handle most pretty recent AAA games, as long as you don't try to flip on RTX. I mean, it's nice to have the option to turn it on and admire the eye candy, but the truth is the 2060 was never really fast enough for smooth ray-traced lighting. CSGO, though, is a game that runs well on just about anything, but needs a fast CPU to run at extremely high frame rates for the best competitive experience. Our Phantom Canyon NUC kept up well enough that no casual player would complain, but given the general rule that you want 2 frames per second for every 1 Hz of your monitor, competitive players with high refresh rate displays might find it a little lacking. Finally, F1 2020 drives home the point that you gotta be realistic, okay? It's a 2060. You won't be cranking everything to max at 4K resolution. But when you consider that the size of this thing is not that different from just an RTX 2060 for the whole system, there's not a lot to complain about here. Even thermals stayed well within reason. We both benchmarked the Enthusiast NUC in our studio and took it home for some extended gaming sessions, and the GPU never passed 70 degrees as long as we kept the vents unobstructed. The CPU, though, is a more complicated story. It's clear that Intel has done some careful tuning to squeeze as much as possible out of this machine. So curiously, during a long Blender render, we were hovering in the 80-degree range, but at relatively low clock speeds. And then we fired up Cyberpunk 2077, saw turbo speeds in the 4.6 GHz range, and then even though the CPU wasn't fully utilized, we saw temps as high as the low 90s. Thankfully though, even while the whole machine is being hit hard like that, it never gets intrusively loud. On the subject of cooling, by the way, we're gonna be stripping a PlayStation 5 and water cooling it, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. Of course, the last big compromise for anyone looking at a NUC is what they give up in terms of expansion and I/O. But this one is looking pretty good. We've got plenty of USB 10 gigabit ports, HDMI 2.0 and mini DisplayPort 1.4, an SD card reader, Wi-Fi 6, and this is really nice, 2.5 gigabit Ethernet. That's fast, almost as fast as you can cable manage your home setups with the help of LTTstore.com cable ties. And if that footprint is still too big for your minimalist lifestyle, you can also mount it to the back of any VESA compatible monitor with the included hardware for a nearly cable-free experience. So that's already enough connectivity that most people won't feel limited by it, and for a compact device, it's pretty upgradable too. The CPU and GPU are soldered, no swapping out those, but you get 2 M.2 slots for SSDs and 2 SODIMM slots if you want to add more memory. And the dual 40 gigabit Thunderbolt 4 ports mean that anything from external capture devices to high-speed fiber optic networking to even a graphics card upgrade is in play if you're willing to pay the premium for an external enclosure. Bringing us to the question of what kind of premium will you be paying? This guy starts at $1339. but 128 gigs of storage and 8 gigs of DDR4 3200 memory is less.
I'm snapping in your ears. Is it okay? Hello? Hello? It's working. Thank goodness. Now let's see if my camera can pick up anything I'm doing. Because my face is behind this.
Hey Tim, thanks for following.
Okay, hold on. I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous, guys. Let me hang on. I just want to pour out a hang on. Let's pour one out. Let's pour one out, that beats. This is for the first quote unquote real ASMR stream. Yatta. Pour one out, deadbeats. Cheers. We got it to work somehow. It's perfect. Yay. Unnamed senpai. Arigato. Wait. Gotta admit, technology's pretty neat. Okay, listen. Listen, deadbeats, listen up. It's what you want. Me going in the night for you. Ga? Cheers again. U-E-A-R-D. I see. Naruhodo ne? My body can't handle the... I like this response, deadbeats. I'm pleased. It's a lot better than left, right this time. Left, right. Wait, no, hold on. It's technically right. Right, left, right. Wait, no. Left, right. Yeah. Please hurt my feelings.
We were able to find out what SCP stands for. Yeah. It's, SCP is a foundation, a fictional organization documented by a web-based collaborative fiction project of the same name. Or like I know about SCP. Secure, Contain, Protect. SCP. Who's the most popular SCP? What is that? SCP-173. What is that? Why does it look like that? Why is it in a tutu? Who drew this thing in a tutu? Why can you see its butt? Cute butt.
Money on my motherfucking mind. Top 5 haircuts at the same time. Wet gold pants, jet ski made of wine. Frog raw bust of Albert Einstein. Get money.
So I'm here trying to shop for a lighter. So I'm gonna need help, guys. So what do you think about? I think I got some of these. You let me know in the comment. What do you guys think about these? Oh, these are good, man. Look at this. Damn. There's no pink. There's no pink. We got pink right here. I mean, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment.
Hey everybody, how's it going? I apologize if in this video I come off improperly or I'm not good at explaining myself. I'm incredibly pissed right now, and I don't know how else to explain it. So let me just try and start. So 8 or 9 years ago, I did a blog post on my site where I was going over getting a visit from the Department of Consumer Affairs because I did not have the license number. It was either on the receipt of the business card. I believe it was the business card. I got to check. And I remember getting a fine for it that was pretty large at the time for me. And rather than say, hey, I know you probably don't know this because it's 600 pages and you're working 12 hours a day, but you got to have your license number on it. So can you reprint the cards and then I'll show up here again in a month, and if they're there, then no, I got a fine for it. But, you know, it wasn't the biggest deal. Now, today, someone showed up at the business from the Department of Consumer Affairs, and I now have a summons. This is not a fine, which is, okay, here, just pay your fine, you're done. This is summons. I got to show up and explain myself for something that we did here. So before I explain this here, well, I need to explain the licenses that we have and the way our business works. So we have 3 licenses in the front of the store. We actually have 2 because the Department of Consumer Affairs that managed to send someone over to give me this did not actually send me a new license in spite of the fact that I paid my renewal fee 9 months ago. But that's a topic for a different video. So we have 3 licenses. One is a home electronics consumer appliance service dealer. That means that I can fix your products. The second
Oh, I forgot I need to check my mailbox 1 second, guys. Okay, we're back.
Is an electronic store license. That means that I can sell parts. So let's say you want to buy a CD3215, an ISL 6259, I can sell you a chip. And the third license is a secondhand dealer license. A secondhand dealer license allows me to sell items that are used. The reason I have that license is because from time to time, we will sell used laptops. Now, it's very important to understand one core concept of our business. Many people will ask, why don't I have used laptops available for sale on my site? Or why don't I have a business buying and reselling them? I don't buy used laptops from people who walk in asking, do you buy used stuff? Because every single time I've had someone walk in saying, hey, do you buy used stuff? They do this. Hey, you guys work with phones? Yes. Do you guys buy phones? You guys buy phones? I don't buy things from people who walk in, because when people walk into a store in New York City and say, do you buy phones? 95% of the time, you can be sure that it's stolen. Their body language is a dead giveaway. Their lack of the password for the device, their lack of understanding of how the device works. If they put it on the desk and I say, can you show me the condition of it? It's always obvious that it's stolen. So my business model is not to purchase items from customers and then resell them, because the people that walk in asking for this are always as sketchy as humanly possible. What we do here is we sell computers that people have left here for long periods of time. So in an ideal world, what would happen is people would drop a computer off at my business. I would give them an estimate. We would then fix it if they approve the estimate. And then we would give it back to them fixed. They would pay once they see it's fixed. All done. What actually happens goes something like this. They bring the machine in, we give them an estimate, they say yes to the estimate, we fix it, we call them, voicemail, we text them, they never hear from them, we email them, nobody picks up, nobody answers, nobody responds, and then 3 or 6 or 9 months later, after we've been texting and emailing and calling and texting and emailing and calling, and no one picks up, I put the machine in my junk pile. And then once we have a slow period in business, maybe, right by the Christmas time or the holiday, then when there's nothing for the text to work on, they will go through the recycled junk pile and go through that pile and try to put together a computer that works. And then we sell it. This is why we only have maybe somewhere between 0 and 2 computers available for sale at any given time. We also don't sell these machines online because we have such a limited quantity of them. It doesn't even make sense for us to waste the time to put them online and take all the pictures and all the specs, because it's going to be gone at some point anyway, since there's so many customers that walk in and so few machines available for sale. As a result of not purchasing computers from my customers, I don't have any records of machines that I purchase from the walk-in customers, because I don't have a policy of purchasing computers from walk-in customers. Now, let's just read what this summons here is for. New York City Administrative Code 20-273. The business does not maintain electronic records on leads online, as required by Title 38 RCNY 21-07B. At time of inspection, there were 2 used laptops displayed for sale. One was the 2016 13-inch MacBook Pro, 2.9 gigahertz, i5 CPU, 8 gigabyte RAM for $950, 250 gigabyte SSD. A 2017 A1708 13-inch MacBook Pro, 2.5 gigahertz, i5, 16 gigabyte, 256 gigabyte SSD for $850. The electronics items were displayed at a point of sale inside the glass showcase with sign to fix it, indicating specs and prices. Records are not available for inspection. I asked the manager, Steve, if they maintain leads online regarding the entity's purchase and sales of secondhand electronics. He said they don't maintain leads online. This is a misrepresentation of what Steve actually said. What Steve said is quite simple. We do not buy machines from customers when they walk in saying, do you sell computers? We don't buy machines from New York customers. Now, what Leads Online it's a system where if you purchase computers from customers in New York City, you need to, I forget exactly how it works. You have to have their ID, you have to have them fill out a form, and then you put all this information into Leads Online so that when people file stolen device reports, they can try and figure out, did this stolen device make its way to a pawn shop or to a computer, sale and, buy and selling shop or something like that. And they can try and track it down, which I think is a great idea because, as I said in the beginning of this video, most of the computers that people come in here trying to sell me, the reason I don't buy them is because they're very, very obviously stolen. Also, I'm just not, maybe it's just a socially awkward thing. I'm just not good at the whole bargaining back and forth that, come on, this is worth more than that. No, it's not. Come on. I make money off of fixing things. I don't make money off of the whole buying and selling shit. And it's fairly obvious if you walk into my store that that's the case, because we have no retail whatsoever in the front of our store. It's a seat and then a desk for where Kevin can talk to you, and that's about it. So this says we don't have Leads Online records, and this is a violation that I have no records. I have no records because I don't buy from the customer. The reason that I have a secondhand dealer's license is not so that I could purchase devices from customers and act as a pawn shop. It's so that I can go to that pile of recycled crap, refurbish it, and then sell it in the front of the store. The reason that there's no Leads Online that's filled out is because I did not purchase a device from my customer. They forfeited their right to it when they left it here for 1 or 2 or 3, or in some cases 5 to 7 years without ever getting back to me. However, this is here listed as a violation. And when we go down to the bottom of the page, it says, except for unlicensed activities, maximum penalties for the violations in the summons may include a fine of as much as $15,000 for each violation. $15,000 for each violation. And this is not even a fine, because a fine was this little half a page thing that I got a few years ago. This is a summons. So I have to show up on May 4th, and This is 4 pages. This is literally 4 pages worth of stuff here that I will have to deal with the city on. Now, this is a particularly interesting time for this to be done. I think this is an interesting time for this to be done. As I've shown in some of my other videos, you have a record number of businesses fleeing the city. If I were to ride my bike down Broadway, all you see is retail for lease, retail for lease, retail for lease, closing, retail for lease, empty spaces. And this is a time of great economic strife for most small businesses. You have lots of small businesses that haven't moved, but that are just going bankrupt. You have all over the place, lots of businesses that were barely hanging on prior to the pandemic, because as I've gone over in some of my real estate videos, it is incredibly expensive to have a space here. You could be paying easily $20,000 or $30,000 for a place the size of a closet. You have a lot of economic strife now that a lot of the people who would have been the customers of those businesses have left, or they're only able to operate at limited capacity. This is a point in time where the city of New York needs to be selling small business owners on why they shouldn't hightail it out of here to Nashville or to Texas or to Florida, somewhere where their rent will be 20% what it is here, somewhere where they will be taxed less, treated better, able to open. And instead of attempting to sell small business owners on why they should remain in this city, they are going around giving people like me summonses for potential fines of $15,000. Now, again, I would understand it to some extent if we were a business that were known to be scamming people, that were getting complaints left and right. There's some places I could look up and remember where, 2 stars, you read the reviews, and they're all universally horrible. But when you look up MacBook repair in this zip code, one of the things that you'll find about our business is that when you look at the combination of the number of reviews and ratings, we're one of the best rated businesses in this city for what we do. 1,239 reviews, 4.9 stars. The businesses that are higher rated than us at 5 stars typically have less than 50 reviews between them. This is a business that is rated fairly well for my used or second-hand license. I don't have any complaints with the DCA for the entire duration that I have had this license. Again, if we were screwing over our customers, if our reviews were terrible, if people were submitting complaints saying, I bought a machine from them and the serial number came up as stolen or something like that, by all means, this would make sense. If I'm doing something wrong, if I'm screwing over my customers, come here and find me. That's not what's going on. They're coming in, they're looking for things that they can complain about, they're finding little violations based on technicalities because I am not providing records for the devices that I never purchased, and then saying that I could be fined up to $15,000 and I need to appear at a summons in order to explain myself. That doesn't make sense. And this is not what is going to encourage people to stay here as everybody else is leaving the city when prices are at real estate sky highs and customer availability in the area is at an all-time low. we have 15 employees here. We have a payroll of something like $18,000 a week. That's a lot of tax revenue for the city. That's a lot of money that we bring the city. And I'm not saying that should allow us to break the rules, but what I'm saying is that when you're talking about a citation or a fee or a fine or a summons for $15,000, because we don't have records of devices we never purchased because that's not our business model and not what we do. Yeah, maybe I'm just tooting my own horn here, but this is not what the city should be doing when you have record outflows of people deciding we want to go to somewhere else. And maybe this is the kind of kick in the ass that I need to realize that I need to hightail it the fuck out of here. Because as I've said, I have a business here. I have loyal employees, some of whom have been here for 7, 8 years, who have family in the area, who are good at specialized jobs, component-level board repair, component-level data recovery on phones that have been in the ocean, hard drive data recovery on drives that have been dropped that got sent that got sent to companies that charged $10,000 that said we can't help you, or he was able to fix it. These are employees that are very loyal, that have really good skill sets that would take years upon years to retrain if I were to move somewhere else. And it's difficult to consider moving in that standpoint, but it really does start to put into the minds of business owners like myself, what do I have to do to get that started? What would I have to offer my staff in order for them to be okay with leaving to go someplace that doesn't suck? Because this is a joke. This is a joke. If you look at the city's tax revenue over the past year, if you look at how much it's fallen, if you look at how vacant so many of the stores in this city are, this city needs businesses to stay here. And for those businesses to stay here, it's going to take reasons. It's going to take a sales pitch of some sort. New York City in many ways was kind of like that head of the football team that was, handsome and liked by everybody, that thinks because of that he can get away with treating his girl like shit, or like, that beautiful hot girl that thought because I'm so good looking I get to treat you like shit. And in many ways New York has been like that. Whether it's the 2.2% property tax on Long Island, or whether it's $5,000-$10,000 studios in Brooklyn and Queens and New York nowadays, and when you're looking for apartments, I can't believe they actually can cost that much, but they do. When you look at the cost of housing, when you look at how bad the train system is, when you look at all of this, the one thing that New York had going for it is that all of the money was here. All of the opportunity was here. And now that that's going away, New York can't get away with doing this stuff anymore. It's not worth it. It's over 65% of my business is now mail-in. That figure used to be between 10 and 30%, which means that if this shows up and I show up for that hearing and I get a $15,000 fine for not keeping records of sales that don't exist because I don't buy machines from customers, I'm telling you, I'm hightailing it the fuck out of here. I have a car arriving on Saturday, and once I get it, I'm going to be doing my little tour around the U.S. for myself, just to figure, take a tour of the places, figure out what places may be good places to live the next half of my life, what places would be poor places to live the next half of my life, what places are good to do business, what places aren't, what places have good people, what places don't, and if I find a place that doesn't suck, that's the point at which we have a conversation with everybody here. What would you say to having the same salary that you do now, but living someplace where when you go to the grocery store, everything's 30% cheaper, where your apartment is 40% cheaper, where your car insurance is 65% cheaper, but you get the same salary you do now? What would it take? Moving expenses? First month's rent? Tell me. Those are conversations that I'm soon to be having. Because this is just not acceptable. And I'll be honest, it wasn't even this that got it started. It's the fact that the businesses surrounding the city that used to be my customers are now closed. So if it's going to be $12,000 to $14,000 to rent this store, but FIT is right next door and they're open, and all of these offices nearby where all these people have Macs and other devices are open, and NYU is, dorms are full. Even back then, I was like, what the hell are you doing here? And I could show you the numbers on paper and say this makes sense. But now it doesn't make any sense. The numbers don't make sense as much to be here as it did before. It's just, I'm a responsible adult. I have a business. I have employees. I have, thousands of customer devices here. I can't simply just get up and leave because I have responsibilities. But when this stuff starts showing up, a 4-page citation, a 4-page summons from a department that can't even send me my license after I spend $350 on it, to the point where I need to put a receipt for my license in the license frame. Why am I still here? Like, this, why? And you know, I know what I'm going to see in my comments. You did it to yourself by having a business in New York. You're right. You're right. Why am I stupid enough to run a business here? I don't know. I don't know. But we'll see. I will update you all with how this goes. And yeah, if you're thinking of starting a business in New York City, you're absolutely out of your mind, because at the point at which so many businesses are moving out, so much of the tax base that this city needs is leaving. The best thing that they can think to do is this. Because I didn't get a call from anybody saying, hey man, how's your business going? I know that you're only working at like 50% or 25% capacity. Is everything okay? Or, hey, I know since Andrew Cuomo's pause order, you're probably really screwed up right now. You need any help paying your rent? You need any help with your taxes? You need any really... or, hey man, you know, I know you... None of that. You know what? I didn't get any of that. No support. No, are you doing okay? No, is there anything we can do to help? This is what the city of New York thinks of you. This is what the city of New York thinks of small business owners. We're piñatas. We're just there to be beaten over and over again, have the money fall out, and use it to pay for all of the city's services and programs and Ponzi scheme pension funds. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating. So that's about it for today. Yeah, that's it. I'll see you all in the next video.
How's it going, everybody? Give me a second to send the... We're not going to make fun of him. The base is bad, and we will fix it. So, anyway, this base was basically like peak down shell. Here, let me link symmetry. Peak down shell here. And then the core of the base was like this. And then off of these, like, squares, I'm pretty sure. Or did he have a thing there? I forget exactly how he did it, but... anyway, this was the core, and he had a thing that was like... let me unlink symmetry. He had like an electricity room here, and he put TC in here, and then had like a main loot room there. It was really janky. I'll say that. It had a ladder hatch going down there, and a ladder hatch going down here. It had two ladder hatches like this, just to, like, split off the loot like this, and then have like the TC room here off the thing, and then had two window loot rooms here. So like this. And I can't pull up the actual base because he built it on rusticated, and I'm not gonna... I already went to rusticated, and I can't use their stuff. Like, it's a fine server, but they don't have any of the tools that I use. But you know, why does your Windows say porthole? That's because I'm on pirate mode. But yeah. Anyway, so he had like this weird drop down thing, and the base is just, it just doesn't make any sense when this is the frustrator footprint. This footprint itself, there's no point. 0 point doing this as the core, and I just fucked up all those walls. Doing this as the core when the base is so much better.
Thanks, Lesko. Welcome back.
And do this as the core, because then you can just make that the TC, and then make these loot rooms. Just do loot in both of these, and then just do drop down rooms. And then you armor these up. You do this. You do that, you do this here, you put one there for splash protection, you do this here. It makes the raid cost to one loot room a little bit bad, because you can just go through... It's flipping Minecraft Hour. I can't remove it, I already have it on my screen. It makes it... The raid cost you can blow through here, because you can blow through the drop down, and then 4-rocket the loot room. Honestly, that's not a big deal, because then if you want to get the other loot rooms, then you've got to go through all the walls. Or you've got to go up through the garage door, and then go through the garage door snaking around core. So it just makes it very frustrating to raid. This is a very proven base. It's not that, like, defensive. Like, if you just built this as just the base, just these 3 loot rooms. You can raid this. I forget how much it is to raid, but you can raid it for fairly cheap. It's not the most defensive, but it's way better than a 2x2. I don't like them personally just because I hate the drop down loot rooms, but beyond that, it's fine, right? So anyway, let's move on to the shell, because if you want to design a shell for this base, first of all, doing this as like multi-TC here is just a little weird, because the stability on this is not going to be great. Like, the stability on the outer shell is going to suck. You're going to have to make up for it for more wall frames. This is just the frustrator. No, well, the original base was not the frustrator. It was the frustrator footprint without the drop downs. And then he went off of that without the drop downs and made the base without the drop downs, which makes the base just very weird. But yeah, so I don't agree with the way that you do the multi-TC here. Honestly, I would say that in this footprint, I would not multi-TC this footprint. I would honestly say that multi-TCing a like shell base if it's anything more than 2-sided, like on a 2x2, I don't like the stability like implications of having to do that. Also, my idea with this core is first of all, in the original base, he did peak downs on the 3rd floor, so he had like peak downs like here, and then like a garage door, and then had like the shooting floor over here, and then peak downs like right in here, and he did multi-TC peaks, I'm pretty sure. Like these. Or he did something else because he did the different footprint. But he had multi-TC peaks essentially in the thing. So this just makes it very easy to breach, because all you have to do is 4 rocket this, and then maybe you have to 4 rocket something else to get in if the stability is proper. But it's just 8 rockets, then you have control of the shooting floor and you have control of the peak downs. The better thing to do is to instead do them 1 higher, because nobody should build 2nd floor peak downs. I don't like them. It's almost always better to just build 3rd floor peak downs and just spring for it, unless it's really affecting the cost. And in a lot of times, you'll find that these peak down shells don't actually cost that much, just because they're not like packed to the brim with stuff. It's a lot of the times it's all those door frames you put everywhere, all the little windows, all the everything, the whole shooting floor, making all that complicated. All of that stuff is what makes your base like costly. It's doing 1 extra layer, like here we'll show. This costs 10.8k stone, and this is, I mean, probably literally going to add just like a couple extra k stone. Yeah, it adds 5k stone. So you hit 5 more nodes, and your base is like way better. Can you make a Sven base? We could do the mini freak. I could do that one. My thing with that one is it's just the wizard footprint, and you could just make the wizard instead. You could just make an open core wizard, and it would be a lot better. So it's kind of a non-starter there, but beyond that, the concept is good. But anyway, I do the 3rd floor out of like this, except in this base, you do like this, and then so I would do a jump up here on like this side, and then this side I would do a door leading out, and then I would do like a something here, however I do the door, but I would do the door leading out here, and I would make it an armor door. But I would do a jump up here, and then on this floor, instead of doing like having the loot here and having this open, I would instead do these loot rooms, which gives you an excuse to metal these up, because
you woo-woo.
Protecting your loot. This reduces the number of doors that you're going to have here anyway. And then, off of both of these, I would put a locker over here. And you can put beds on the floor here. And then I would do another jump up leading up on this side. So then what I want to do on the top floor is, there's a new trend going around in base design of doing open cores. Now, can you do the Waterloo? I don't know what the Waterloo is. Why don't you want to bother with Tronin bases? Well, I'm literally making the base better. So, this is educational. We're taking the footprint and we're making it better. Like, But anyway, what I want to do on the top floor is I want to do an open core. I've been experimenting with these things of just doing open peak downs. It doesn't need to be quite an open core. So if I was going to fully open core it, I would do this. I don't think there's really much of a need for placing this here. It always irks me not having a floor frame there, though. I don't know why. It's just like if this gets destroyed, this technically gets stability from this, and this would stay up. If the floor frame wasn't there, it wouldn't be there. So I usually place it, but it's not super necessary. But if I was going to do open core, I would do... Why is my symmetry? There we go. I would do this here, and this is why the shell here, I would not do this shell, because I would not multi-TC it. I would make it single TC. So let's make this single TC. And there are better shells, but we're going to stick with the footprint. Just because in the spirit of pimping the base. I would not multi-TC the shell. I would multi-TC the shooting floor, maybe. If you wanted to multi-TC, I'd multi-TC like this part. But even then, it's not going to be that expensive doing it single TC. This is the kind of base where it's like... This seems to me like a weekly kind of base that's built for like defensive capability and keeping your loot more safe than a 2x2. It's not really like a solo duo like base that's supposed to like last the wipe. I guess maybe the upkeep is going to be a little bit more if you have it single TC, but the base is going to be a lot better for it. You could have the option of doing it more multi-TC if you wanted to, though. You are Twisted Killer, the Rust Map Maker. I sent you basic copy paste file. Oh, okay. Well, just send it in the send the sanctuary code in the review of my base, and I'll have a look at it. After this one, I don't know how many bases we're gonna get to, but I just wanted to start off with this one. So I would do the open core here because these loot rooms are fan-fucking-tastic. Because you can do 6 boxes like this. And this is more loot than a, 4-man really needs. And you actually can't do 6 boxes here because of that one. You have to do 2, and then you can do 2 small boxes there if you wanted to. Just because of the jump up here. But, we do this. If I was doing a proper open core, right, I wouldn't do this one here. I would do this here. And I would do like open core like this. I don't know if this is necessary. You could do this, honestly. Yeah, you could just do this. It's not bad. It just means that you're gonna have to have another layer like around like this. Whereas if you didn't want to do that, you could just seal it off and just not have that layer. So it adds more than just adding like that. So this, even this though, this is cheaper. I don't know why the floor was missing there. This is cheaper, and this is
Hey Zondi, thanks for following.
Joo, Meteor kämpättiin jossa. Siinä on 2 jätkää. Noita ovi. Nouse heti, rämpytä.
9,000 IQ required. 2%. No Legend of the Night for around 200. Can I actually damage the bad? I mean, there's a reason why the HP is low, right? There's no way I can kill... Like, I can only take one fortified bad. Like, obviously the thinking would be... Cripple Moab. That does a lot of damage. For starters. Like, there's no way this... will work. Definitely not for the first one. Not even 20%. How about for number 2, though? Let me just see. How close do we get? Now? 20%? 20%. That's a lot. That's still a lot to go. I think it's gotta be Cripple Moab and then 1 damage towers. I don't think stacking would do much, but I guess we gotta give it a shot. Out of towers. I don't think so. No way. No way, Jose. Wait for it, wait for it. Hurry up and come in. Well, yeah, now. Everything. 200k with Spike Storm. 300. We actually almost damaged it all the way, but keep in mind we gotta kill the insides. That was actually not bad. I think we just gotta stack everything on the frickin' carpet. Like, can I maybe sacrifice the temple so that my Spike Factory is super strong? But the thing is, do I have enough money for that? Is the money's there? There's so much money lost doing this. I'm already down at 150. So I can really only get an alk buff on this guy, and that's it. No brittle. I don't even know if it did much, but yeah, there we go. Tank 1. I should probably look at the stats. How much does this buff give? I'll probably do it after this game. I'll probably do it after this, yeah. Because I need to know the numbers. The raw numbers. So. The moment in. Now. Go, 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 go. How is our numbers doing? Okay, it's better. But it's still not dead. Alright, let's get the numbers. Okay. So, in 9. What this means, every tower gets +2 damage, which doesn't do much, because the Cripple Moab already gives +5 or something. So it's not actually very efficient to do this. Brittle would be better. I don't know if it missed the other time, though. Overclock. Got it. Got it. Overclock. That's so much cheaper, gives a massive buff. I don't know if Ultra Boost would also work, but let's do Overclock. How many towers max, by the way? Let me just get this here. 1 left, okay. I got so much money. What up, Hebrew? I guess we try Glue Storm. That's a lot of leftover money, though. Oh well. Let's go. Let's go, Power Rangers. Let's go. So the good news is that I can use this early. I can also Glue Storm early, too. Go, 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 go. Damage, how much? That seems very underwhelming still. 330. Temple actually did more than that. Did I ever use Homeland first before this? Because maybe if I buy this first, it doesn't get the boost from the Homeland. Maybe. So let's see. Overclock, like Homeland early, because it lasts long. Buy this, and then this. Is that better? It sure looks better to me. Yeah, 400k. That's by far the best. 400. Now, I'm going to do the same run, but without Brittle, to see if that makes a difference at all. Get ready, now. And then this. Brittle does make a big difference. 90k. I'm only thinking I can switch the out buff. Wait, is P-Brew better than 400? Last thing I didn't try yet. Okay, so this will put me down to 30k, which is pretty decent. We'll outbuff the Sniper for more attack speed, and the Brittle 2 for range and attack speed. Come on, come on, come on. Again, even if we pop it, that's only one step in the process of winning. Wait for it. Wait for it. Now. Spam. How we do it? Oh my god, this is so good. Popped. Now what? Now what? We can't beat this, can we? Damn. There just ain't enough track left for this, I think. Wow. Alright, let's say I skip out on Brittle. Let's say that's the most useless tower, which it probably isn't. But let's say I want to switch Brittle for something that can beat the ZMGs. Can I Bloom Crush to stun? That would be epic if I could. Bam, 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 bam. Money's looking really tight. But it's there. 5k. Ooh. Spicy. Bam, bam. Time it. Now. Spam 2. Should pop late. Yes. Thumbs up. Now what? I guess we wait one more cycle until the homeland is up again, and then nuke everything. That's what I'm thinking. Also, I'll buy some random crosspaths. Sentry guns, let's go. Let's go, perishing potions. Damage. This is so much HP, yeah, this will be a while. I'm gonna wait for every ability to be up, and then unleash. Unleash my epic wrath. Alright, 1, 2, 3. Please pop. So many spikes. BFBs? Well, I don't know if I should fast forward. It's kind of... Oh, no, I lost lives. What? The balloon speed is normal, isn't it? Yeah. No, it's... Okay. Holy shit. 500. I can't let it leak. I can't risk fast forwarding with Moabs. Ugh. If only 2 Alks were allowed, we win. If only. I can maybe use the ability slightly earlier. I'm not sure what exactly that do. But if I pre-place them, they won't expire. Which means, oh yeah, these spikes that are thrown out. Oh, wait. That was really early. Okay. Let me replace my defense then, right? Right? Hold on. Or not. No, I should replace it, because then... Yeah. Or at least put Balloon Crush on the right side. Oh, that works too, let me just see if this can actually pull it off. But if I have to restart, Balloon Crush earlier. And then there's time. Let's see if I can at least beat this first part. So, OC... Homeland Spike Storm. Don't die. I swear to God. STG. Don't die. Spawn sentries. Put someone first, actually.